people such exceptional performers? How do we manage to do something so startlingly original or create a breakthrough so grand it leaves the rest of us gaping? Often they could come from the humblest of backgrounds, have the most minimal of education, and yet there's something that drives them to perform at extraordinary levels. That's what we're going to look at today. What differentiates breakthrough performers and what can the rest of us learn from them? Harvard researcher David McClelland, who has extensively studied achievement motivation in people, found that only a very small number, perhaps 3% people, are naturally hardwired to be exceptional achievers. It's an ability they are born with. According to the law of natural selection, in a pride of lions, only a few will naturally lead the pride. The rest will follow. So too with human beings. But while only 3% have this natural hardwiring, McClelland also found that the rest of us, 97%, can be triggered to be exceptional performers. Since it doesn't come naturally to us, it requires a strategy. These people do is break through where others get held back. They take risks, they're even seduced by risks. What's really going on in their brains? Anand David is a breakthrough scientist. He heads Manford Alliance, an organizational development firm. He has worked with several organizations both in India and abroad. He uses some pretty unconventional methods to shake us out of our comfort zones, including arousing both aspiration and disgust. He calls it violating the way you think, value, and believe. Anand, how did your interest in this area come about?
I came across scientists who were working on exceptional behavior. Why do people want to be extraordinary? Why do they want to step out and be different? And came across a scientist called David McClelland. He used to visit our country, especially a small town called Kakinada, where he found that a small portion of the people are able to sustain exceptional behavior over a long period of time. And he called those people with high need for achievement.
What are some of the reasons that people are held back from being exceptional performers?
The primary reason is that we are conditioned people. Just like animals are conditioned, so also human beings are conditioned. We are deterministic in the way we see life. We are either deterministic because of the genes that we have, or the psychoprofile that we have, or the environment we come from. So if there's a stimulus, there's a tendency to respond immediately to the stimulus. Whereas between the stimulus and the response is a small gap. And we can actually manage a small gap and look for alternatives. Okay, that's the real trick.
What's the kind of prison that belief systems, conditioning can put people into, and how does this hold them back?
See, if we take the example of teachers, okay, the belief is this is how we need to teach. If we take an illustration from leadership, this is the way to lead. So we are trapped in our ways of leading, in the ways of teaching, in the ways of learning, and hence we come from that automatic way of being. And we'll only do what we've always done.
Companies also get conditioned to certain ways of doing business.
100%. They have their own cultures. They have their own ways, repeatedly doing it again and again and again, and ultimately they get trapped. They would not even know that to shift your fingers from here to here, it's going to be uncomfortable. And when they do it for the first time, they say, oh, from shifting from here to here is uncomfortable. I can imagine what's going to happen if I'm going to shift the whole organization the way it is presently functioning. So the whole learning there is that all breakthroughs are accompanied by discomfort. No breakthrough ever takes place inside the comfort zone. It's always when we dare to step out.
your work with companies involve?
We are primarily in the unsettling business and demonstrating possibilities which they have not considered before. Typically, we would take the people who are in the top management through an experience called defreezing, moving, and freezing. In simple terms, it just means that whatever behaviors you have currently in the way you lead are unsettled in a 4-day, 4-night intervention. How do we actually multiply people in our organization? Now, the person who had come and said never ever knew that there was a process of coaching and mentoring which could actually multiply in a far higher manner or many more in a shorter span of time. And when he went through this exercise, he said, what really happened to me was that I saw something that I never ever knew during the workshop. And soon after, my company's turnover doubled and then went up threefold just because I stepped out and did something which I never ever done.
And what did he see?
He actually saw the process of multiplying, which he never knew how to do it. He knew that he was good, but he did not know how to make 6 people just like him. So the whole thing was relying on him. And he discovered that on that particular day, he said, the bottleneck in my bottle is at the top.
Who are some of the people who you would consider to be breakthrough people?
I would surely consider Rajiv of Saskin as a breakthrough person. Surely Anuago as a breakthrough person. Ajay Perumal as a breakthrough person. People who have done extremely well. In the world of sports, I would really see Sachin as a breakthrough person. How at this age, in spite of the number of years that he's been doing work, how does he continues to be a breakthrough person? How did an Einstein think like that? He came from philosophy back into science and from science to philosophy. Complete breakthrough, sustained breakthrough, long periods of breakthrough. Music, look at Beethoven. He couldn't hear a thing when after a particular time, and how did he see a breakthrough? How did Mozart do it at a tender age of 9 and 10? Or Spielberg, the way he has shot his movies, and how could a person think like that? Look at the world that Amitabh Bachchan has created. Nobody ever expected that he would turn it around at this age, and he's done an extremely good job. How did these guys think? What is happening in the brain that it generates possibilities, and are you willing to take it?
Black, no, our dream. Your word is not black.
Most human beings have a single failure mechanism. You do something once, you fail, you won't try it again. No, we'd rather stick to the tried and tested. But it's this very playing safe that can get in the way of generating real breakthroughs. After the break, what you can do to unsettle yourself. How you can get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
We like to think of the world as one giant car park.
When one talks about SUVs, one consideration besides brute power is space.
The Car and Bike Show, tomorrow night at 10 on NDTV Profit. Car and Bike Show brought to you by HSBC Premier Wealth Management Expertise that works for you. Onida Flat ACs for powerful cooling even in extreme heat. And Anand Rathi, behind every successful investor.
It's one of the most personal things you own. It's your life and the life of your business. It's your staggering proposal. Your private media empire. It's your personal computer. Shouldn't everything about it be personal too? The way you choose it, protect it, tune it, even recycle it, so that in ways big and small, the computer is personal again.
जो भी चाहा लिख दिया, दिल किया तो लिख दिया।
लिखते रहिए, बस लिखते रहिए।
At Pens, leaders in writing technology. Turn it off. Keeping the engine running guzzles up 3.22 light liters of petrol every day. Use it wisely. Turn it off. Don't waste. Save energy.
Visit South India's largest exhibition on garment machinery and accessories. Garment Technology Expo 2006, 16 to 18 June at KTPO Exhibition Centre, Whitefield, Bangalore.
A little every month goes a long way. Invest regularly. Systematic investment plan from HSBC Mutual Fund. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Please read the offer document carefully before investing.
वो दुनिया जिसमें कुछ भी मुमकिन बना ले इंसान।
देखते हैं इस हफ्ते डिजिटल दुनिया में नया क्या हुआ है।
अपने दिमाग पर भरोसा और हाथ में विज्ञान।
18 से 25,000 रुपए कंप्यूटर में कई सारी चीजें आ जाएंगी।
एक नया कल, एक नया विधान।
ब्रांडेड की जो एडवांटेज है वो यही रहती है कि आपको एक पूरा पैकेज होम यूजर को मिल रहा है।
डिजिटल दुनिया आज शाम 4:30 बजे NDTV प्रॉफिट पर।
We are talking about breakthrough attitudes. Our entire survival mechanism is designed to keep us in a conditioned zone of automatic ways of behavior. But exponential growth happens only in a high-risk zone, which means being quite ready to fail and not worrying too much about what people think.
Breakthrough is not a skill, okay? It's an attitude, right? It's really recognizing that it's a way of seeing life, right? And we start looking at the possibility that if I do something again and again, I'm going to get trapped, and if I'm going to get trapped, I'm not going to get any other result. So I start seeing it as an attitude wherever in life.
What would be some ways to generate breakthroughs in either organizations or at an individual level?
The first step, like we discussed earlier, is awareness that all of us can get trapped and conditioned. Once we have recognized that we can get conditioned and trapped, then we can look at alternatives by a process called looking for possibilities. I am stuck and I'm looking for a breakthrough and I need a technique to start with, right? And the technique is there a paradox over here? If there's a paradox, can I handle the paradox? The paradox which comes to mind often is that of how we handle children. Children go to school to learn. It never really occurs to me that the child learns best when she teaches.
Do you have examples of companies that did achieve breakthroughs, and what did they do?
I would say the example that comes to my mind is of Ajay Parimal's famous experiment or a risk that he took as a youngster of 29 and becoming the chairman of a huge firm. And he goes to, at the age of 33, he goes to Mike Barker, the owner of Nicholas Pharmaceuticals, and he says that I have no experience in the world of pharmacy. All that I have is I'm a youngster and I'm an entrepreneur and I would like to do it. And he did something entirely different from what he came from. And he had the backing of his wife Swati Parimal, who was a doctor herself. And they saw a new world which they had never ever examined. And that called for risk. And since he took the risk, he saw a breakthrough, and today it's 4,000 crores. Nicholas was 48 in the ranking about many years back, and today is the fourth in the country, and 4,000 crores. And how did it happen? Because somebody actually dared to step out and look for alternatives, a different way of doing things, or a different way of doing business.
But what you always hear is stick to your knitting, stick to your core competence.
Yeah, if you stick to your core competence, it'll take you to the place the core competence can deliver. The context of this whole work is breakthroughs, because conditioning is not bad. Conditioning will ensure that what you've done, you'll do well again. Core competence will ensure that what you've done, you'll do it well again. But it'll never ever give you a breakthrough.
The method that Anand David uses is called defreeze, move, refreeze. We get stuck in patterns of success and failure, which then determine who we are and how far we can go. Even successful patterns will only take us up to the same level of success. Therefore, for a breakthrough, we have to unsettle all kinds of patterns that we've got used to. Leadership patterns, problem-solving patterns, conflict management patterns, unsettle them all. Only then can you begin to see new possibilities.
Every time I see a change, I see a breakthrough. Like what comes to my mind is about the way Anu Aga picked up the company in the year 1996, in the month of February, soon after R.D. Aga handed it over to her, right? And Anu was from the human resources background, right? Whereas R.D. Aga was a giant, he was a dreamer, he was a visionary, he was a seer. He was from the Harvard Business School. And Anu did something very different. She completely restructured the board. She turned the pyramid upside down. And she said, my customer is my first, and I would operate backwards from the customer. And from the year 1996 till 2004, when she handed over to Meher, you should see the way the company has moved. Amazing,
specifically,
amazing work.
what was she doing right?
What she was doing right was she was prepared to question existing ways.
Once you have got over the fear of death, you got over most fears.
At a personal level, what would you recommend as ways to start developing breakthrough attitudes?
Looking for opportunities and possibilities, daring to risk it, and trying it again and again and again till such time I start seeing success, till such time I start seeing effectiveness in the way I'm living life. It could be any walk of life.
Comfortable is a dangerous place to be. Security, a dangerous state of mind. Wanting a guarantee of success, a dangerous way to grow. The moment you cling to safety, the more you move away from potential breakthroughs. After the break, some personal characteristics of high achievement people.
How marketing and technology can work together.
You've been bombarded with a whole set of advertisement, marketing messages, direct mailers.
Talk shop with advertising and technology experts.
If advertising itself is morphing into this new structure, why wouldn't mass media morph as well?
Pick up on global trends for how to market your technology.
Every medium today has the potential of actually targeting consumers.
A special debate. Tonight at 10:30 on NDTV Profit.
Boys from Brazil are coming to India to take your turf. We want you to defend it. Sign up now. SMS Nokia to 5555 for details.
Syndicate Bank, serving solutions to your satisfaction. Syndicate Bank, your faithful and friendly financial partner.
Visit South India's largest exhibition on garment machinery and accessories. Garment Technology Expo 2006, 16 to 18 June at KTPO Exhibition Centre, Whitefield, Bangalore.
So what role are you playing today?
Every day, many roles, one car.
There is a product out there that's just right for you. Leave it to us to shop around for you. Value for money. Tomorrow afternoon at 12:30, only on NDTV Profit. Value for money brought to you by SBI International Credit Cards. जो दिखता है वही मिलता है. Religare, partnering wealth creation. Legrand, ideas that click. And pension plans from HDFC Standard Life. Take pride in giving even after retirement.
Women from Kolkata and from Delhi come together to tell us why the stock markets are no longer just a man's domain. Join us for a discussion with Millennium Mams on Buy or Sell. Watch Buy or Sell weekdays 11:30 a.m. only on NDTV Profit.
Those of us who aren't born with the natural ability to be exceptional performers can be triggered to succeed. However, it's hard to sustain that because we will keep slipping back into our default conditioning, which means we need to create ways to stay consciously stimulated.
The best way to stay unconditioned is to stay in the companionship of people who are unconditioned. Automatically you are spurred to keep on looking for possibilities and opportunities.
So you're saying stay in the company of people who tend to think creatively, laterally, who are always questioning things. Those kind of people can fire your brain up in different ways.
Yeah, and I would call them as enterprising people or entrepreneurs. They're constantly looking for ways to be. Like they're like a fisherman. You go to the sea, and if the sea gets rough, they would go to the lake. If the lake gets rough, if the lake is getting dry, they would go to the well. If the well gets dry, they would go somewhere. But ultimately, they'll keep on changing ways, and all that they know is that we are great fishermen, and they'll find ways to do it.
One of the things you said that is essential to having a breakthrough attitude is to start questioning. What kind of questions should you be asking? What kind of new questions should you be asking?
Anything which I would do, I would say, is this the best way to do? Are there better ways to do? Are there better ways to teach? Are there better ways to learn? Are there better ways to write? Are there better ways to communicate? Are there better ways to design? All of us are called to a life of exception. It's a question of, are we choosing to be exceptional? Okay, are we choosing to be extraordinary? The whole trick is to keep on looking for alternatives. There must be a better way, there must be a better way, there must be a better way. If there's a better way, let's go and take it and make it happen.
It takes a lot of stamina, psychological stamina to still...
And that's why they are 3%. Because there's only 3% who can sustain the stamina to look for breakthroughs again and again and again and again till they actually see it.
Breakthrough people have certain common character traits. They question how things are. They question conformism. They are not emotionally affected by ridicule. They have a high belief in self. They are seduced by risk. They are disgusted at the status quo. They are driven, restless, and they never give up.
Another way that people sustain breakthrough is actually to work with a coach that actually who supports you to be in the state of breakthrough always.
What would a good coach do?
A good coach will enable to generate solutions within you as a person, the person whom you're partnering with, right? And the joy of the coach is to see a breakthrough in the other person's life.
And what would your turnover be for this store, which is one of the most popular stores?
See, we
You see many people around who are very successful, very famous, but they haven't created anything new. They haven't broken new ground. These guys are different. They are the ones who ventured out of their safe, comfortable shores and took risks. They dared, they failed, they dared again. As someone put it so well, if you don't risk anything, you risk even more. See you next week. Goodbye.